guys, Caleb here, back again with more bad fanfiction theater, and I have a guest.
Oh, Norm.
How you doing, Norm?
I'm okay.
Yay, I got him back. I didn't scare him off from his first time.
Yeah.
Today we will be reading a story that I actually had to go on the Wayback Machine for, otherwise it did not exist, called Kendall, the Twilight story by, semiotic, I think is how I was supposed to say that. I have no idea what this is about, other than the possibility there's impreg in it, maybe? I'm not sure, because I just saw like a blurb and I went, I should read that. So, again, we are reading a story thanks to the Wayback Machine called Kendall, a Twilight story by Semiotic. If you want to follow along, there'll be a link down in the description below. Take it away, Norm.
I'm writing a new story about Twilight. I hope you all like it. And give me good reviews. Hi, my name is Kendall of Cullen. And I'm married to Carl Cullen.
I'm pretty sure
I only get to...
considering that he had a wife in those movies.
I don't know. I'm just laughing at these spelling mistakes. Okay. Only I get to call him Carl cause I am his wife. Anyway, is that a period?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a period anyway, period.
One day I was walking through the forest in my tiny skin tits, black dress with torn fishnets and black combat boots.
It's my immortal! It's my immortal! You ripped that off from my immortal!
And fishnet for my arms and back lip.
Wait, you don't have arms, you just have fishnet for your arms.
And black lipstick and black eyeshadow, and I wasn't wearing any pale makeup because I'm a vamp. And we don't have to wear pale makeup because our skin is already pale and beautiful and sparkles in the sunlight, which warmed my beautiful pale skin.
You would be burnt.
And I'm glad that and I mean, I'm glad you didn't make never mind. Just spelled beautiful. As I walked through the forest and drank some blood that Carl gave to me, my black combat boots stopped with every step I took.
What? Wait, so you're walking through the woods, but your black combat boots specifically stopped with every step you took. That kind of is what happened when you wear shoes. If they didn't stop when you took a step, you wouldn't be wearing those shoes.
And then I saw Edward. OMG, I said. Hatdar are you doing here, Eddie? I was allowed to call him Eddie because he's my son and because I'm Carlo's wife. That's not your Carla. Then he started to take off his claws. Okay. His skin was so pretty and pale. He wore dark makeup around his eyes to bring out their beautiful hazelnut color.
They're what? No, they're yellow. They're not hazelnut at all. They glow. Well, I don't know if they glow yellow, but they're yellow.
Oh yeah, this is Twilight. Okay. His chest was muscly in the muscly? I guess it's muscly. I don't know. Well tones. I felt myself getting wet, where Edward isn't her real son, you sickos.
No shit. Anybody who knows anything about how vampires work would know that is not her real kid.
Oh, yeah. He moves so dast that I didn't see him taking off my dress, and all of a sudden we were doing it.
So wait. Even though you two are a vampire, he moves so fast you couldn't see it. So he just rips your dress off, because being a vampire, you also wouldn't have that ability to be quick enough to stop him. And then he just, at the same time, I guess he just sticks his dick in. What sense does this make?
Yeah. I mourned in exactly, cause his thingy was so big and hot and sparkly.
It's not sparkly when it's in there, dear. Unless you're meaning something else that was sparkly, and I'm sure that's not sparkly either.
Yeah. Oh, Carly.
Okay.
Yeah. I moaned my husband's name.
His bands.
Oh, his band's name. Nam. Cause it would be too slutty if I moaned someone else's name, you know?
If you were with your husband and thinking about, I don't know, your adopted son, sure.
Yeah.
But you're with somebody else calling out for your husband, as, you know, you should be if you're being assaulted, and I would like to think your husband would come and help you, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. To be continued. Did you all lick it? Please review. Review. Right. Not revow. Review.
Oh my god. Author's note. Thanks to Nachos for Childs for the review. Oh yeah, that'd be review. After me and Eddie finished doing You Knew What Woot, we put our cloths on and walked back to our host. Emmett and his GF Kristen were on the porch talking about football. Emmett is manly like that. And I said, "Hi Kristen, you look really seductive today." And she said, "Well, thanks. I was bisexual, so it was okay." Wouldn't it been... Well, I mean, that's a weird way to say it, but I don't see what being bisexual has to do with saying somebody looks seductive.
I'm still trying to make sense of that sentence.
I have learned just to read, and yeah.
Okay.
So it was okay, and then Jasper ran the hose and tackled Eddie and screamed, "Oh my god, it worked. It worked. Why did you sleep with our mom? I thought you loved me and Lizzie." Lizzie was Edward and Jasper's GF. Sure, they were all together, 'cause they are all allos, bisexual, and Lizzie was okay with that. You know, you can be in a relationship where not everybody is bisexual or okay with sleeping with everybody else in that threesome, you know? Like, two guys could just be interested in that one chick and never butt-fuck each other. 'Cause she seki, he said, and I blushed really red, except not 'cause I'm a vamp, but then Lauren the black vampire came and saw Jasper on Eddie and got a huge bone. "Oh my god, Lauren, go away!" screamed Kristen, and Lauren ran away to masticate. You definitely read my immortal, and I appreciate that. To the thoughts my two Seki sons doing it. And then, how would you know this? Are you just assuming she went and did this? Or do you, hear her with your super awesome hearing and smelling? No, she's, somewhere in the woods masturbating. Or masticating in this case. And then Carl came outside. And I was so happy to see him, 'cause I love him. And he said, Kendall, why would you fornicate with Edward? I thought you loved me. Well, considering he practically raped her, but then she's, inexplicably cool with it, and, as in the end, Carl said, wait, no, I skipped a line. And Edward said, didn't yell at her, she said your name the whole time. And Carl said, oh, that's okay then. Sure. And everything was better. Until Jam showed up. If you want me to continue, then please review.
I don't like you, Carlo, Jams said. And then his GIF Chelsea showed up and slapped him.
Okay.
SDFU Jams. Carlo is the sexist. She screeched at him, and we all laughed because he got totally pinned. And then I said, I don't care if you think my husband is sexy because he's mine. Stop it, Q. And then she got all angry and turned into a wolf because she's a werewolf or a werewolf.
What? Wait, so Chelsea turned into a werewolf?
I think that's what it's saying.
But James's girlfriend was also a vampire. And vampires can't turn into wolves. The wolves are the enemy of the vampires. Unless you happen to be Jacob, who then falls in love with a baby.
Maybe they crossbred. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think it's possible for werewolves and vampires to crossbreed. Then again, I don't care that much about Twilight to figure it out, so.
Yeah. And then she had Jams, and he died.
Wait, huh? Wait.
And
so
then
did the main character turn into a werewolf? Or a wolf? And then she what?
Okay, one of them's a werewolf.
But everybody here should be a vampire. I don't understand who the werewolf is.
Neither do I. I'm trying to figure that one out.
No, wait. Okay, it's okay.
Oh, I thought it was Chelsea.
Yeah, so, cause after that, and then it, alright, sure.
Okay. And we all laughed and drank his blood. And then Chelsea ran into the woods cause she's a werewolf. A werewolf. Where'd she go? Eddie asked. Probably to butt sex kick with Jacob, said Emmett. And Kristen told him not to use such bad language. Langage. Around Bella. And then Edward turned around to see Bella. She didn't know he was with Lizzie and Jaspar, yet he quickly put his thingy back in his pants.
Why did he just have it hanging out?
According to this, he's trying to hide his power of invincibility. I guess. Yeah.
Nobody wants to know he's He-Man.
Yeah, that's right. And Lizzie hid because she had the power of invincibility.
I see.
OMG, hi, Edu, said Bella, but then I killed her. And then and Carl went inside and he started tacking of my claws a gin, and we did it in the kitchen. After that, we drank some blood, went back outside, but we saw Jaspar and Eddie doing it. OMG, why are you doing it outside, yelled Carl. But I said, boys will be boys. And we went back inside. And do you all lick it so dar? One.
Not really, because I don't really know what's going on except everybody's fucking everybody else, and one person who shouldn't be a werewolf is a werewolf, and she ate her boyfriend.
That sums it up right there. You see one person here. I keep thinking it was Chelsea. That's the werewolf. I don't know why. And then all of a sudden, someone dies, and then what's this? And then someone has to hide their power of invincibility. And then it said Lizzie hid because she had the power of invincibility. Okay. I thought it was Jaspar who quickly put his thing back in. I thought that was I misread it. I thought that was his power of invincibility.
By the power of Grayskull.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the living room with some Grey's, watched some Grey's Anatomy when Eddie ran in and said, I smelled like I was pregnant. Oh my god, I couldn't be pregnant, but it was true. We went to the Walmart, got a pregnant test. It said I was pregnant. So you can sort of spell it there, but not the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if a human pregnancy test is going to work the same way for a vampire as it does a human. But I don't know. Vampires can't get pregnant, which was the whole thing about...
I thought they're dead.
Yeah, about Bella getting pregnant was such a massive, important thing. Like, because they'd never heard of that ever happening in, like, the history of vampire kind. But
yeah.
Anyway, even though I had to pee on it, ew, I don't think that's really how it works. I thought you had a cup, and that you pissed into it, and then you dipped your stick into that, but whatever. Anyway... So I was, pregnant with Carl's babby, and I was so happy. How do you know it's his baby and not Edward's baby? Because Edward effed you too. To have a little babby Carl inside of my tummy. But it was hungry for blood and lots of it. So I had to kill Lauren. Why? And drink wait, his? Thought Lauren was a girl.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So all this time it was a male.
I guess. And drink all his black person blood.
Okay, that's being racist. Okay, is that a black person blood?
Black person blood has more nutrients in it because they are darker. No. That's not how shit works.
That's not how it works. Yeah.
Science you did not major in. Carl knows all that stuff because he's a doctor. Eddie was worried that I was pregnant with his baby. And Carl got mad and went to his mom's house. Carl went to his own mom's house.
Hose.
Oh, hose. It is hose. Okay. I thought she was asking me who's, and I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I don't
I'm
know.
so confused.
I just said hose.
And Carl got mad and went to his mom's house, hose, for the night. But when he come back, he sees it was definitely his in nut Eddie's. So it was okay in that night. me and Carl did you know what? And he seed my giant if you're just now pregnant, it would not be giant.
Come back in 9 months.
Yeah. He seed my giant pregnant belly was very sexy and I didn't look fat at all. Author's note. OMG! Why I said that instead of just saying the words, I don't know. I can't believe Kendall is pregnant. Can you? No, because nothing about this story is realistic in any way, or even canon to what's going on in the books.
Yeah.
So what'd you think about this story?
Oh, I can't even begin to start to summarize this. Okay. I think it means well, but there's been a lot of confusion. You're told some things that weren't mentioned before, like Lizzie is a guy, or what's his name?
Lauren.
Lauren. Okay, Lauren, and he was and all this time I thought, okay, that he was a she, until the very last chapter is revealed that it's a him, and that he had black blood or something like this. I don't know.
I think this character changed names because
yeah,
first they were Lizzie and now they're Lauren.
Mm-hmm. You know, like they couldn't keep their characters straight or something, or this was written on the fly, kind of a thing.
Possibly. And yeah, they did refer to this character, assuming it's the same character, as female before the last chapter.
Yeah.
Well, this is typically a My Immortal ripoff. Somebody wanted to write something inspired based on that. And the two tales really show. And it makes me happy, but in the end, when you write a story like this, you really want it to stand out from everything else that is coming out and being inspired by things like My Immortal. And so this really doesn't do anything except be a My Immortal ripoff. You know, it's not going to be rememberable. It's not going to be... It doesn't distinguish itself outside of that one story that it was inspired by. And that's really what hurts it the most, and why if somebody wanted to read, say, something like this, but in the Twilight fandom, I would easily recommend the Topaz story long before I would even remember this was a thing. Because the Topaz story was at least funny and ridiculous. It was, again, I said it was more in vein of Bella Swan, Pregnant and Furious. And I still like and enjoy that story, even though that was batshit insane. And so was the Topaz story, though on a much, would I say a milder level than that? I don't really know, but I mean, even though they're in a similar vein, they were still very different, to the point where I could distinguish that one from that one, and then still recommend both to somebody who's looking for a fun, bad story to read. But this, I could sleep through and not care. I don't know how many bad fics you've read, Norm, but your opinion based on something like that?
No, I haven't. I haven't read enough bad fiction to pass judgment. But
well, I mean, could you recommend this to somebody?
No, it's for one thing, it tends to go off in other directions. It's the vampires that they come up pretty often. They seem to do impossible things. Like in the last chapter, it's like, well, they get pregnant real fast, and like normal. But then, but we all know. I mean, lore is that vampires are dead. So how do you get a vampire pregnant?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, it sort of it happens in the original book, sort of. Kind of. There's like a small loophole in that. But I mean, considering her partner was a vampire, I mean, it was the equivalent of him shooting blanks, yet somehow Bella still got pregnant. But I mean, you would have to do something more like Cat Dragon, where they're not, I'm sorry to bring up my own story, but in Cat Dragon, the vampires are not undead creatures. They just happen to be a race that drinks blood. You know, they're like, like a herbivore, carnivore, and like that. And there's like a term for those that just drink blood. But I forget what it is at the moment. But that's what a vampire is. And so basically, they just they drink blood, but then there's also been developed rich drinks and stuff that, give them the nutrients and stuff so they don't have to drink blood if they don't really want to. And then there's, of course, animal blood, which is just as good, even though their main prey are the various types of other people that exist. Vampires are not undead creatures in the story of Cat Dragon. They're mammals like everybody else. Well, not everybody else, because there are bird people and egg-layings too, but you know what I mean. But you know what I mean. They're not undead. They can have children in a normal fashion.
Oh, yeah, that's plausible.
But I mean, again, it would depend on the lore of the original series that you're basing your fanfic off of. I sort of went on a weird tangent and forgot the original point of what I was talking about. But I think that's pretty much is you need to be able to follow the lore of the core story, and then if you want to change it, you need to be able to do it in a way that makes sense and is convincing for the reader. I mean, if you want to write something that's nuts, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to stop you from that because, it could be a really good story. It could be lots of fun. But just understand that it could also not be, because you might also get a lot of criticism for writing something that doesn't make sense to a lot of your readers who are also fans of that series that you're writing.
Okay, well, there's nothing else I can add.
Okay, that pretty much sums up my next question. So, I'm Caleb.
And I'm Norm.
And this has been Bad Fanfiction Theater. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye!
Bye!